Pezuñas, miren sus pies.
Astagfirullahalazim, astagfirullahalazim.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Expect to be thrilled, excited, and even a little bit scared by some of today's clips. Without wasting too much of your precious time, let's jump right into it.
Hayatımda gördüğüm en değişik canlılardan birisi, acayip çirkin.
First on our list is this clip that shows a small creature that appears to be a tiny monkey, but also has features resembling a rat. At first glance, someone might think it's just a small monkey, but clearly it's not. Even the experts are unable to confidentially identify this creature. Is this creature possibly a species that science hasn't officially recognized or documented yet? Or could it be the result of convergent evolution? For those unfamiliar with the terminology, it refers to the situation where different species develop similar traits in similar environments. While Julius might have explained it to me, I still feel extremely smart talking about it. Aaron simply said it was a gargoyle, and, well, looking at the clip, I don't blame him. So, what do you also think? In a Filipino village, a local resident heard peculiar noises emanating from the nearby woods, prompting him to venture out and investigate.
Saya pulang aja lah, guys, ya. Saya pulang aja ya. Apaan? Ya. Kaget aku.
As he surveyed the dark and desolate forest, an unexpected figure emerged, an elderly woman wielding a stick. However, as she got closer, she didn't look like a friendly grandma at all. No, she appeared to be something ominous with a terrifying appearance. Yet the most unsettling aspect of this encounter was not her terrifying appearance, but the eerie incantations she muttered as she walked by the man, unbothered by his presence.
Wah, kaget aku. Pada tempo di, Mbah.
When he turned to look at her again, she had vanished. The natives who heard of this were puzzled and connected this disturbing encounter to the legendary yet elusive night hag. If you're unfamiliar with the terminology like we are, it refers to a supernatural entity believed to wander the night. Aaron believes the encounter is genuine, but what about you?
Apaan? Ya. Asu. Kaget aku.
In Mexico, a group of guys came across a strange creature they called the Goat Man. This mysterious being had a human upper body and lower half with goat-like hoofs. You know what? Enough talking. Let me show you.
Miren sus pies.
Nuestro Padre Dios se encuentra presente en este lugar. Tú te quedas de donde perteneces. Nadie debió traerte a este plano.
Faced with this otherworldly sight, the person recording instinctively started praying, thinking the creature might be a demon. But in a strange twist, as the camera momentarily shifted away from the creature and then returned, the goat man had inexplicably vanished into thin air. Confused and spooked, the men quickly retreated from the scene. The creature's size, long arms, and distinctive hooves make you wonder if this was a mythical creature or something from a different realm. Members of the paranormal community even speculate that it might have been demonic and that the guy's intense prayer had something to do with the creature vanishing. Could it really have been a demon?
¿Qué está arriba, güey? Arriba hay alguien, güey. Mira, no mames.
On our shores of Parana, a peculiar creature's carcass was discovered. It had a head like a dog, legs both in the front and back, and wings resembling those of a bat. While some contemplate the possibility of it being a flying fox due to the presence of bat-like wings, the sheer size of the creature raises questions, with many more individuals stating it might be a never-before-seen sea creature. Others stated that there was nothing mysterious here. They believed the whole thing was a hoax garnered at having a lot of views. You have seen it yourself, so what do you think? Take a look at this unusual sight, a black ring surrounded by what looks like white smoke. Looks otherworldly and even alien if you ask me. But the know-it-all Julius had to ruin the thought for everyone here by stating that despite its intriguing appearance, this phenomenon isn't from outer space but has a scientific explanation. According to him, the black ring is actually a circular tornado formed when the heat at its center interacts with the cold conditions outside the ring. This atmospheric interplay creates a visually stunning display where the dark ring contrasts with the surrounding white smoke. Those who get to see this meteorological phenomenon are treated to a captivating sight. Understanding the science behind such events helps demystify the spectacle, showcasing the beauty and complexity inherent in the natural processes of our atmosphere. Before we move off this video, has anyone out there seen it in real life? Share your experience with us. While on a hike in the Appalachians, a hiker came face to face with this cryptid. That's definitely the legendary Sasquatch standing among the trees, staring right at the hiker. You can see it, right? You'd think other members of the paranormal community would be happy to see the clip, but instead, the encounter has stirred skepticism among some. This has left many doubting the authenticity of the footage, with many leaning toward the possibility of it being a well-executed hoax. While believers in the existence of Sasquatch revel in the thrill of this alleged sighting, skeptics raise questions about the authenticity of the encounter. Some say it's a staged sighting or misinterpretation of an ape or monkey. What say you? On a snowy Christmas Eve, a woman recorded a peaceful scene outside her window as snowflakes gently fell. This ordinary video took an unexpected turn toward the end. Take a look. Did you catch that? The snow appeared to stop suddenly, almost like it vanished or got switched off. It looks like a glitch, doesn't it? When this footage surfaced online, speculation ran wild. Many thought it was a trick of light, suggesting that the lights went out, making it look like the snow suddenly stopped. However, a sharp-eyed viewer pointed out that the street lights were still on in the background, challenging the light theory. So are we looking at a glitch in the Matrix, or is there a more logical explanation for the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you haven't already hit that like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these kind of videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. During the night, someone noticed something unusual in the sky. It wasn't a bird or a UFO. It looked like a human. A woman, to be precise. The entity had long hair and was floating in the sky with arms by its side and feet closed. Upon closer inspection, it doesn't look like a performance. There was no one around to manipulate the being, nor were there any visible strings or signs of anything, just the solitary figure hovering in the night sky. In the world of folklore and superstition, murmurs about witches traversing the night skies surfaced as a plausible explanation. The first thought that crossed people's minds was a witch. They thought that she was probably heading off for her nightly tasks, whatever those might be. What do you also think? Still on flying things in the sky, a passenger aboard a plane spotted something strange in the sky. It was a dark entity that had no shape. It was spotted when they were over the Asian Sea. The entity pierced through the clouds, turned around for a little bit, and then vanished into thin air. Naturally, he was left asking himself what he had seen. He uploaded the clip online and everyone else was equally confused. Some felt it could be a sign of the paranormal making an appearance in our plane, while others thought it definitely had to be something alien. Julius, our know-it-all, thinks it could either be an alien craft or a manifestation of a weather anomaly that's never been documented. Many in the online community, however, lean toward the idea of it being an alien. I, for one, also subscribe to this idea, but what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Still on strange sky phenomena, take a look at the clouds. There appears to be a short ray of light moving about in the sky. What do you reckon it could be? Are we looking at a manifestation of atmospheric dynamics, a play of sunlight refracting through clouds, or does it carry the elusive aura of something beyond our conventional understanding? Perhaps something alien? I think I'll let you decide on this one. While driving through Alaska, vehicles were asked to stop and park on the side of the road for a moving convoy. This is what they saw. Do you see anything odd at all among the entourage? Yup, that trailer seems to be carrying something rather odd. You don't need to be a genius to know that definitely looks like a spacecraft of sorts. Everyone who saw it was convinced it was a UFO strapped to a truck, while others leaned toward theories of a classified government gadget or an elaborate piece of equipment with undisclosed purposes. What do you think this mysterious item could be? A Twitter user posted this strange video. The clip starts with this young man speaking some incantations while holding the strange object. After some seconds, he leaves it and it appears to be floating in mid-air. At first, you might think that the object is tied to a rope, but as the camera zooms in, you realize that nothing is keeping it afloat. In parts of Africa, there are people who are known to possess spiritual powers, and they're mostly identified by the way they dress. Judging by this man's appearance, it may be a witch doctor, which will explain the whole thing. Naturally, the footage excited Aaron, who was happy about seeing a witch doctor in action. But Julius's scientific mind is trying to find an explanation. Can you help him? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you now, would you? Two friends, Ashley and Gabrielle, set out to explore an abandoned asylum. After they had almost finished their tour of the place, they were greeted with these strange noises outside. Listening to them, they sound a lot like wails and cries. The girls posted the footage online, and it had millions of engagements due to its disturbing yet mysterious nature. People naturally had a lot to say about what the sounds could be. Some said it could be a wendigo, the paranormal creatures that cry out to humans to lure them in. Others also believe that due to the history of the place, those could be the spirits who have perished there. Skeptics, on the other hand, thinks this could be audio being played to prank the girls. What do you think? Someone noticed a person sitting on the ground outside late into the night. I don't know why he did, but for some odd reason he got closer and this person lifted his head. Once that happened, it became apparent that this person was not human, but some sort of goblin-like creature with glowing eyes. The creature noticed the person filming and stood up. If I were the one, I know my heart would skip a beat, but then again, taking a critical look at the clip, it looks like the creature is nothing more than CGI. Its movements and appearance, though spine-chilling, may indeed be a product of digital tools rather than an unearthly entity. In the age of advanced technology, the line between the authentic and the fabricated becomes increasingly blurred. This looks like something that was created years ago, but what do you think? Imagine being on a plane and looking out your window to see this. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not remaining calm after seeing this. But then again, what exactly are we looking at? Julius, Aaron, and myself got to work on this as soon as we received it, and we all came to one conclusion: UFO. I mean, there's no other logical explanation for this, is there? Strange crafts in the sky with an unnatural formation, it definitely has to be aliens. But that only leaves us with questions. Why are there so many of them? How did they get there? What's their plan and purpose? And are we even safe after all? I don't know about you, but this worries me. It worries me a lot. But then again, what do you guys think? Buckle up for a peculiar discovery in South Africa.
Check this out.
This strange rock-like object was found on a heap of sand. The rock was black and had cracks on it, with a glow coming from the cracks and smoke. The big question on everyone's mind: what in the world could this be? Some whisperers in the crowd suggest it might be a meteor, but here's the thing: there's not much intel available to confirm or deny this hypothesis, so we're only left to speculate. Personally, I want it to be something alien, but we don't always get what we wish for. Having seen it, what do you think we could be dealing with? Russia is known for many things, but trust me when I say this next one will shock you.
Большая. Что такое, непонятно.
In the clip, we see a huge rectangular-shaped craft moving in the sky. It looks like one of those futuristic movies, which has naturally caused a buzz in paranormal and alien forums. Some think the Russian government made it up, while others think the Russians are in bed with the aliens. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but then again, it's not impossible now, is it? On the flip side, there's that lingering thought that this could be an extraterrestrial visitor navigating the vast expanse of our sky. Naturally, everyone involved in this debate thinks they're right. Even as I make this video, Aaron and Julius are still debating. So we need a tiebreaker, which would be you, our lovely audience. What do you think this is? Let us know in the comments section.
Еще бы она одна тут была.
Still on UFOs, these strange lights were seen in the sky. There were 5 of them in total in a very strange formation. You see it, don't you? So the burning question here is, are we possibly witnessing a fleet of UFO crafts gracefully navigating the cosmos? I mean, I can't think of any earthly vehicles that boast such an intriguing setup. Could these lights be the handiwork of extraterrestrial visitors, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation that we're just not privy to yet? Share your thoughts, please. A man who is known to be a spiritualist shared this footage that left everyone talking. If you found the first witch doctor interesting, I think you will find this one interesting as well. In the footage, he was demonstrating how he controls the sea. Just watch as he beckons the waters towards him, and it does. And as he motions it to move back, it does also. Now, the big question on everyone's mind, is this the real deal or just an uncanny coincidence? Naturally, believers in the supernatural are in awe and can't help themselves. Skeptics, on the other hand, are of course skeptical about the whole thing. Personally, I doubt he has any control over the elements. What do you guys think? When you walk into a forest and see animals fleeing from one particular direction, what do you think is the appropriate thing to do? Run away from that particular area just like the animals, or run toward it to find out what they're running from? I don't know about you, but I believe the most logical thing would be to run away from that direction. But no, this man thought otherwise. He noticed all the animals were running from one particular direction, and he picked up his camera and drove his car in that same direction. In a few minutes into his journey, he ran into something unusual. He noticed what looked like a tall heap of bushes moving. We all know bushes can't move, so that was perplexing. He decided to get closer to film, and what he saw made his blood run cold. It was no ordinary bush, it was alive and breathing. Before him stood an ape-like humanoid creature that was neither ape nor man. It growled at him, but thankfully it didn't attack. He had just run into a Sasquatch. It seemed to have little interest in him and made a lot of scary sounds. Some believe they're warning calls, but Sasquatch experts, and yes, there are such a thing, believe that those were mating calls. The Sasquatch was busy looking for a mate and couldn't be bothered by the man. Lucky him. Have you ever wondered what it's like to see the world from a wolf's point of view, or have you ever wanted to see what a day in the life of a wolf looks like? Well, wonder no more. It's official, and it's here. Wolf camera collars are now available, and you can see how they look. This wolf might need a beard trim, but imagine what we can do with these cameras. Trailcams give us so much already. Just imagine what we could do with these camera collars. Although we prioritize Trailcam footage, sometimes footage from security cameras is very hard to ignore, especially when they capture things such as this. What do you believe that you're looking at? If you mentioned an alien, then you and Vivian Gomez, the owner of the security camera that captured this in La Junta, Colorado, have similar ideas. At first glance, you might not think you're looking at anything out of the ordinary until you look again. E.T., the extraterrestrial, the alien from the character of the movie, as we all know, is fiction. But this looks real, which leaves one to question, how could this be? The explanation is not so simple as we can't clarify our claims, but we could be looking at an extraterrestrial being, or simply put, an alien. From the footage, it's evident that the alien didn't know it was being filmed. But if this is indeed an alien, well, that leaves us with many questions. Where did it come from? And what is it doing? How many more of them do we have among us? Can we really trust that the things and people we see around us are really who and what they say they are? What would you do if you were moving through the woods and heard a very deep and long growl? Did you hear that? Now increase the audio to the highest and play it again. Was it clearer? What do you think it was? The sound does not fit any known predator, not the lion, bear, or tiger. Given the fact that they don't exist in the remote location of Ontario, Canada, where this was recorded, it couldn't be any of them. Those who recorded it, however, believe it's the legendary Bigfoot. We will, however, never know for sure, as the one who recorded the footage refused to go check it out. If you ask me, that's a very smart decision. Imagine stepping into your favorite restaurant to have your favorite meal and someone comes up from nowhere trying to kidnap or kill you. No matter who you are, that's sure to leave you traumatized for life. And that's exactly what happened to this little birdie that we see in this footage. It had gone to its favorite bird feeder hoping to get something to eat, only to be violently interrupted by that raptor. Thanks to the positioning of the bird feeder, it was not taken. Looking at the footage, though, I don't think that's the raptor's first time doing something like this. And the reaction of the squirrels in the background does prove this. As you set up bird feeders for your birdies, do put in measures to protect them, else you'll be setting them up for an all-you-can-eat buffet for birds of prey. Dinosaurs. Did they move to the center of the earth, or are they living among us, or are they truly extinct? Imagine waking up in the morning and reviewing your security camera footage to see this. The footage may only be 4 seconds long, but it was long enough to live rent-free in the mind of Christina Ryan, the property owner who believed it had to be a dinosaur, specifically a raptor. However, if you know anything about dinosaurs, you know that this is hardly possible since accepted science and records show they have been extinct for millions of years. But what if the science is wrong? What if they do exist? What if they're living among us? I mean, the smaller ones could be hiding and we wouldn't know. Some experts believe it could really be a dinosaur, while one is convinced it's a dog that had escaped with its leash around its neck. Watch the footage again and tell me what you think you're seeing. I'll be reading the comments. Before we get into the weird and eerie things, check out this wild boar inspecting the trail camera. It's almost as though it's not its first time dealing with one. It uses its snout to press some buttons, then goes back to either check out its very own reflection or make sure the camera was getting its good sides. Conspiracy theorists might say pigs might be pretending to be daft and dirty while secretly intelligent and running the world from behind the scenes. We won't object to that line of reasoning because, after all, why not? What would you do if you saw a little girl levitating with her mother laughing at her side? Or imagine seeing a nun dancing with two human skeletons at a graveyard? Welcome back to Classified Stories, and today I'll be showing you 10 bits of Trailcam footage no one was supposed to see. But be warned, you may find what you see quite scary. The owner of this Trailcam set it up, hoping to capture some of the wildlife that roams the area. What he saw was so wild that it made him question life, and this is no exaggeration. What do you do when the Trailcam just outside your camp captures a man with a glowing aura who seemingly disappears while walking through? If you're tempted to think this is false, watch this part of the video. Did you see the dog pay attention? Did you realize it was equally confused as we are? Did you notice it didn't bark or do anything? Wonder why? The dog could probably feel a presence, one that disappeared and reappeared without it picking up anything on its nose. Nothing confuses a dog like being able to see something yet not being able to smell it. This for me removes all doubts that this hasn't been edited. There's something out there, and whoever sent this Trailcam footage needs to be very, very careful. It's not safe. Continuing on the topic of destructive tendencies of bears, take a look at this adult bear. It's possible that it's related to the little bear we just saw, or even fathered it. Out of curiosity, this big bear approached a trail camera set up near a beaver dam and conducted some scientific experiments to determine what it was dealing with. As a result of its curiosity, the trail cam fell from its original position. It's clear that bears need to be taught that trail cams are not toys, but the question is, who will teach them? Russia is known for many things, but the paranormal is the least of those. That changed when this trail cam footage was published. What would you do if you saw a little girl levitating with her mother laughing at her side? I don't know about you, but I would do anything and everything to get the hell out of there. Horror movies have shown many, many times that it's not a good look. The man behind this footage did not, however, have that option. His dog started barking, which startled the duo. Luckily for him, they ran to avoid getting discovered. What do you think we're dealing with here? Witches, aliens wearing skin suits, or simply camera tricks? Could it also be that there is a meta-human project going on in Russia and these are subjects who escaped the facility? Is that the reason they ran when they heard the dogs barking? It looked like a man, but a rather zombified one. Despite the fact that this was captured in October 2012, it was not during the season of Halloween. But even if it was Halloween, no one goes to the woods in their Halloween costume at that time. Secondly, it looked more like a physical condition than it did a costume. The only thing the one who captured it could think at the moment of seeing the footage was that he was looking at an actual real-life zombie. Did he not consider the possibility of a sick man, since there is no known illness that can do that to a person? But zombie? Is that even possible? Would the rest of the world know if zombies were real? This pushed him to publish it online, but like all things published on the internet, there are varied options. What do you think? Do you believe that this is proof that zombies actually exist? What would you do when a strange animal out of nowhere hits your car and runs off? Well, I for one would get out of there. But not these Mexicans. They chased after the creature, and I'm here wondering why. What did they intend to do with the creature once they caught it? Why would you think you can subdue it if it was strong enough to hit your car and run off? Well, perhaps they had a plan, but they still recorded their chase of the creature, though. At first, I thought it was a dog when I saw the footage, more specifically a poodle, but there's no way a dog could rattle the bushes like this creature did in the video. And if a poodle did hit a car, there's no way it's running off because it would need a doctor. So what are we dealing with? No one knows. The family was never able to catch up to the creature because it disappeared into the bushes, but that leaves me with more questions than answers. What was the creature? Are people in the vicinity safe? I guess we'll have to wait a while longer to find out. Take a look at this trail cam footage. At first glance, it looks like all is well, but look at the left side of the screen. Do you see these dots? Those tiny dots that look like nothing we should be concerned about. But when we zoom in, we realize that those dots are actually eyes that belong to a head. It's an oddly shaped head. There's no way it belongs to a human, and it does not match any known animal or creature on the planet. Taking a closer look at the head does give me some ideas. It's alien. Before you jump in and say aliens are not real, this footage clearly doesn't look edited, and this creature is certainly real. How do you explain that? This brings us to our very much awaited footage. To some, the mythical New Jersey Devil has always remained a myth, but not to David Black, the owner of this footage. The man who was taking a stroll in southern New Jersey saw the New Jersey Devil take off and fly. Knowing no one would believe him if he just told them about it, he took his camera and shot what you're seeing on your screens currently. But does it look real? Does it meet your expectations? Do you believe it's the real thing? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have this bear who thought it was a good idea to get its breakfast from the hen coop. It tries to make its way through the wire fence after making sure that no one was around. He, however, hears a sound and not willing to risk being caught, he skedaddles. Still on bears, we know how dangerous they can be, but if you regularly go biking in the mountains, you might want to watch this trail cam footage. Not only did the black bear go after the biker, but it took a shortcut to allow it to catch the cyclist. Luckily for the cyclist, the bear never made it in time. He escaped, but barely. Mystique from the X-Men was both mysterious and dangerous, possessing the power to shapeshift. Anyone with such a power would be incredibly dangerous, able to go anywhere and do anything without being detected. But what if this power was real? What if you encountered something with this power in the dark woods impersonating your missing friend? It takes horror and fear to a whole new level. That was the case for two friends who were searching for their missing friends in the woods. They heard this voice calling out to them and saw him in the distance. However, as they got closer, the figure changed shape and ran away. Perhaps it thought there was only one person to attack, but upon seeing two, it was spooked and fled. Are shapeshifters among us? Have you ever encountered one? Do you know how to deal with them? Please share your experience in the comments section. Speaking of strange calls, what do you make of these sounds? Scary, right? What do you think is making the noise? Some thought it might be a bear and others assumed it was a wolf. But experts believe nothing that we know of could possibly sound like that. The sound is believed to be coming from a large creature, which gives it the range and tone it has. However, when you listen to the folk in this vicinity, you quickly start to have an idea of what might be going on. They report that in addition to these strange noises heard from the woods, there have been sightings of huge ape-like creatures in the vicinity. Most people who've seen these creatures have done so from a distance, and the creatures always seem like they're trying to make sure nobody is seeing them and quickly disappear into the woods when they feel they've been seen. Does this bring to mind anything or anyone at all? Bigfoot. If you thought of any other creature, it's worth noting that Bigfoot is the most commonly associated creature with these sightings and sounds. It's suspected that Bigfoot roams these woods. You may have heard about demons, but have you heard about the mysterious surrounding balls of light? It's said that they tend to be spirits, ghosts, or fairies hovering around the area where they're seen. They're usually considered a sign of the paranormal or supernatural. This is what makes this trail cam image from the deep woods of Tennessee very worrying. The owner of the trail camera wondered if he'd stumbled into a forest with the supernatural. If he had, was he safe? These fears caused him to post this in a paranormal community. Some confirmed that he could indeed be dealing with paranormal activity. Others pointed out that it could simply be the flash of the camera. But this had no flash. It was a trail cam which shot video. Others pointed out it would be a function of the shutter speed or a flashlight from an external source. These sound logical, but simply don't fit. Could we be looking at paranormal activity, or is everyone simply being paranoid? Still on orbs, the home security system captured this row of bright orbs which are hovering in the backyard of the homeowner. Take a closer look at them. What do you think they are? If you watched the previous one, you already know what our thoughts are. A possibility of paranormal activity, and given the fact that there is more than one, it could be quite serious. The owners, however, left it alone because they could be balloons or some form of a lantern. Balloons we can understand, but lanterns? Do you think there is more to this, or are we simply being paranoid? Next up, we have something really bizarre. The owner of this Trailcam video stared in fear and froze in shock when he came across this very unexpected footage from his cam. He had originally set up his trail camera expecting to capture some wildlife at night, but this was very different. Have you ever heard of the legend of Dogman? In case you haven't, the Dogman is supposed to be something like a dog variant of a werewolf. The major difference between the two is the Dogman does not turn during the full moon and is perpetually stuck in its form. He usually has the head of a dog or sometimes that of a wolf with the body of a human. Ridiculous, right? Yeah, I thought so too until I saw this video. This man was a non-believer in the legend until he went to the woods and came back with this footage. He spent his whole life not believing in the ridiculous legend, only to meet this proof staring at him in the footage he'd recorded in an expedition he'd taken earlier. The Dogman was stalking him and he didn't even know it. Imagine it wanted to end him. It would have done so with little to no effort, but why did it only stalk him? Why didn't it hurt him or anything? Was it only interested in providing its existence, or was there something more sinister that never materialized? We'll never know. But what we do know is that the man became a believer right after this near encounter. He even publicly shared this. It takes a lot for someone who doesn't believe in a mystical creature to come out publicly and say he'd encountered it. But that leaves me wondering, if he really did encounter the Dogman, then I can't help but wonder how many of the creatures we have written off as mystical and fictional are actually not and are very real and living here with us. It makes me also wonder how many of them we pass by daily without realizing who or what they are, especially those that can shapeshift. These are thoughts and reflections I hope to have answers to someday, but until then, the Dogman is real and you should be very careful. Do you remember what your first reaction was to seeing yourself in a mirror? I'm sure the majority of us don't, but some animals would. None of these animals seemed to realize that they were seeing their reflections and thought it was another animal. They launched themselves and tried to scare away their opponent. For some odd reason, this opponent fought back and was never scared. Naturally, this made the wild animals aggressive, but the more they got aggressive, the more their opponent did too. Having had enough, they tried attacking, and to their surprise, every time they walked past this odd structure, they couldn't find the opponent. It was almost as though he existed only in the glass. That's got to be scary. But they all eventually lost interest and walked away. However, not the chimps. They discovered that they were merely looking at their reflections and proceeded to have fun with it. Perhaps they're not too different from us after all. From this point onwards, you might want to make sure that you're watching this video in the highest quality available to you. You also want to make sure that you're not watching it alone, and whatever you do, do not turn off your lights. We start off the paranormal section with a really disturbing video. A lot is expected of nuns, but playing and dancing with the remains of the dead is not one, especially dancing with skeletons at the graveyard. Imagine passing by the graveyard and seeing a nun playing with not one, but two skeletons. And no, this is not an old video. It's as recent as September 2021 at the Whole General Cemetery. Is it inappropriate? Very much so. But what if it's not a nun at all? What if it's an occult group carrying out a ritual? There's no way a true nun would do this. I could be wrong. But what do you make of it? Imagine going to the forest with your friends to enjoy some fireworks when you hear. Would you stay or would you leave? I know I would get out of there, which is what these friends tried to do. But whatever was making the noise was not prepared to let them leave. Like something out of a horror movie, it appeared out of nowhere and started attacking them. You can literally hear the fear in their voices.
Go! No! Run! Run! What the hell? What the hell?
They did make it out alive with minor injuries, but many don't think it's real. Imagine surviving something like that. Nobody believes you actually went through it. I, for one, do believe them. What about you? Still on wolves, enjoy this very short clip of wolf pups. Every majestic adult wolf you see was once this cute and adorable, but make no mistake, they can be quite dangerous when provoked. And if you ever see a wolf den with puppies like this, whatever you do, do not approach it. It would end up badly for you once either parents or members of the pack arrive. They don't joke with their babies. Is the government hiding something from us? Like the Antarctic conspiracies, there are stories about the government already having contact with extraterrestrial beings that might be proof. This guy took euro and dollar bills and put them under a microscope, and what he discovered was quite strange. Hidden from the human eyes were drawings of alien-looking creatures and flying saucers. This revelation sparked conspiracy theories suggesting secret government contact with extraterrestrial beings. The covert presence of such images on currency raises questions about the hidden motives of those in power. Why embed depictions of extraterrestrial beings and UFOs into the very fabric of our financial system? Could it be a discreet acknowledgement of dealings with otherworldly forces, or perhaps a subtle nod to the enduring mysteries that surround us? Anyone with a $100 bill to confirm this, by the way? Under the vast canvas of the Chinese sky, a breathtaking spectacle unfolded, a sight that seemed to be taken from the realms of myth and fantasy. High above, silhouetted against the celestial expanse, figures with wings graced the heavens. In the cultural language, these ethereal beings are often described as angels, messengers from the celestial realms. The sheer beauty of the scene prompts contemplation of its significance. Does this celestial display carry a deeper meaning? Cultural interpretations may vary from the mystical and the supernatural to artistic and symbolic expressions. Are there other creatures living among us that we don't know about? This footage suggests that there might be. A couple come across the carcass of an animal on a tree. They initially suspected that it might belong to a sloth or a bat, but probing further, they realized that it was not possible and that the body might belong to another animal. They then decided to bring the carcass down and investigate, but things take a strange turn from there. Suddenly, crows ate what was left of it until there was nothing left. As if crows don't have enough superstition about them already, why did they consume the carcass when the couple and park authorities decided to bring it down? Does this sound weird? Doesn't it make you feel like there's something paranormal happening here? I don't know about you, I'd be warily moving forward. Things are not at all what they seem to be. Imagine setting up your trail camera hoping to capture some interesting footage only to return to find it damaged. You're angry and hope to capture whoever did it on recorded footage. You search through the footage until you find the culprit, a playful bear cub messing around with your camera. What would you do? The owner of this camera found it cute and funny and ended up sharing it online. But how would you react? Would you have done the same or gone to the woods to give Mama Bear a lesson on parenting? Let us know in the comments section. This is a topic that I find particularly interesting. While going out one night, an adventurer's quest for the mysterious led to a chilling encounter with the unknown. In the darkness of an empty house, a spooky figure showed up, standing like a guard in the shadows. It was really big and mysterious, especially with its glowing eyes that seemed to cut through the night. The unsettling presence of this colossal silhouette gave rise to speculation. Among the interpretations circulating, some said this figure might be none other than the elusive and mythical creature known as Bigfoot. Can you imagine stumbling upon that in an abandoned place? Gives me the creeps just thinking about it. What's your take on this mysterious encounter? Antarctica has been the center of many conspiracy theories, with people speculating about hidden secrets. In this clip, a brave explorer with a metal detector stumbled upon a mystery hidden beneath the frozen surface. The signals from the detector led him and his team to a massive head tucked away in the ice, a sight that was both extraordinary and puzzling. The frozen face showed features that looked like those of a living being. eyes that once saw a world unknown, a nose crafted by nature, and a wide open mouth revealing a vibrant orange tongue frozen in time. The meaning behind this discovery and how it's linked to the metal detector's guidance is still a puzzle, making Antarctica's secrets even more intriguing. If you enjoyed the cuteness of the previous video, then you should be able to appreciate this. Yes, they're fighting. Yes, they're at each other's throats, but are they actually trying to hurt each other? No. Cubs often play in this manner, and it's a way to help them grow healthily and learn essential skills for the life of an upcoming predator. Hear those growls? Imagine what they would sound like coming from a fully grown and matured wolf. The Yeti has always been considered Bigfoot's older cousin that lives in the snowy mountains. Some doubt he really exists, and many people believe they've encountered him and shared their stories. Some have even been fortunate to have footage on him in the Trailcams. But have you ever heard of the Russian Yeti? Believe it or not, this is a more aggressive and dangerous version of the normal Yeti we're used to. If you look carefully at this footage, you can see an ape-like creature with dark fur. It's too large to be an ape, and its arms are too long to be one. But how can that be a Yeti when it has dark fur? Unlike the everyday Yeti that has white snowy fur, the Russian Yeti either has a reddish-brown or dark brown coat and lives in the Russian wilderness. Thankfully, not many have had encounters with it. Perhaps they did and were never found, because that's just how the Russian Yeti rolls. We have this footage to confirm its existence, but never go wandering the Russian wilderness alone. You might not come back alive, and whatever you do, should you see the Russian Yeti from afar, run. If it sees you before you see it, chances are you're already an obituary. Amidst laughter and splashes, we see two friends enjoying what looks like a carefree moment in the pool. Little did they know an unexpected guest would make its presence felt. As the camera rolled, capturing the joyous occasion, an ordinary chair in the background seemingly defied the laws of physics. It moved on its own, triggering an immediate shift in the atmosphere. The startled gazes of the two friends betrayed a mix of surprise and fear as they confronted the unexplained movement. The chair's spontaneous shift, unaided by any visible force, left the possibility of a ghostly presence lingering in the air. In the serene ambience of the poolside, an encounter with the supernatural added an eerie twist to their otherwise lighthearted day. What would you have done in this situation? As if we haven't had enough strange things going on, this trail camera captured this bizarre footage. There, in the dead of the night, were these huge creatures standing on a ledge. Although one might initially think they could be frogs, these creatures defy the typical proportions of amphibians. Their disturbingly human-like appearance as they crouch on the ledge creates an eerie feeling. As these beings leap off the ledge in a way that resembles frogs, the mystery deepens. Are these figures part of an elaborate prank, with humans dressing up in costumes to play on the fears of anyone who comes across the footage, or is there a chance that these entities are more than just a masquerade? But some think that these could be skinwalkers, shape-shifting creatures. The unsettling uncertainty that hangs over this trail camera footage leaves us with persistent questions in the shadows of the unexplained. What indeed is the genuine nature of these mysterious nocturnal beings? A couple of friends went out to go camping in the woods, hoping to have fun and chill out. If you know anything about the woods, you know that having a network reception can sometimes become a challenge. These guys knew they were far out, so had to be prepared for it. A member of their team, however, had to make a call. She left the group and they continued having fun. At first, they didn't notice she was gone for several minutes, but when they finally did, they panicked. They were in the middle of nowhere. She should not have been gone for that long. Concerned, they all moved as a group to find their friend, but they didn't find her on the phone as she had planned. She was lying in the grass, and they didn't know if she was alive or not. One of them rushed to her only to find her unconscious. She was alive. There was a unanimous sigh of relief, but that wouldn't last. From nowhere, they heard a loud shriek. One screamed, and they turned around to see a faceless creature with 6 arms pounding on their friend. What was this creature? No one knew. They tried to escape, but it fought them, trying to keep them there. By some stroke of luck, they all made it out alive, but scared for their lives. The creature, what it did and what it tried to do to them has left them traumatized, but at least they had their lives and they had the proof. They had the video, and the authorities would do something about it. That at least was what they thought. Not many believed them, and no one went back to verify the story. Do you believe them? If they're telling the truth and their story was never verified, then there's a human-hunting crab-like creature roaming the woods, seeking someone to devour. I don't know about you, but this is worrying. See you in our next video. Did you know fish is an active part of the diet of wolves? Have you ever wondered how they catch their fish, since they've no fishing rods, bait, nets, or any other fancy tools we use when fishing? Well, it turns out wolves don't need any of these things. They're naturally equipped to catch fish in their own way, and this trail cam footage gives you a perfect depiction of how they go about it. Like fishermen, wolves need focus, but unlike fishermen and their tools, wolves rely on their jaws and laser-sharp focus to catch fish. Who knew? During a late-night drive, a group of guys decided to take a shortcut through the woods. However, things took a spooky turn when they encountered a strange creature emerging from the trees. The creature had tangled dark fur and looked both ugly and enormous. As soon as they saw it, they quickly put the car in reverse and drove away. Once the footage surfaced online, people had different explanations. Some thought it might be a bear with mange disease because its fur seemed off. On the other hand, the guys who experienced it believed they came face to face with a werewolf. We don't know for sure what the creature could be, but I'm pretty sure these guys won't be taking any more shortcuts through the woods after this encounter. Curiosity often leads us to unexpected discoveries, and for this man, a seemingly ordinary pit turned into a portal to the unknown. As he peered into its depths, the revelation was both perplexing and intriguing. Instead of the expected darkness, a series of stairs unfolded, leading into an underground realm illuminated by mysterious lights. The man wisely hesitates, deciding not to descend into the unknown depths, but the question lingers. What lies beyond those dimly lit stairs? Is it a clandestine facility, a secret society's meeting place, or just a forgotten storage space with a quirky lighting setup? Should everything unusual we see have a paranormal explanation? I mean, I want it to, but should it? Take, for instance, this woman who was sitting in the living room with her child on the sofa. I guess the weather was hot because she had a standing fan on blast. Not long after, the fan begins to move back and forth. The woman gets scared and starts to run out of there with her baby. But why did she run? For me, what I just saw was a faulty fan. Perhaps the mechanism for navigating the fan's head back and forth is spoiled, but it seems this woman thought there was some kind of ghost haunting her or something. Or perhaps there's more to the occurrence than the footage tells us. What do you think? There are glitches in the Matrix that seem fake and almost unreal, but what about this one? While driving over an overpass, someone spotted an aeroplane just above the overpass in the sky. Now, what could be so special about this aeroplane, you may ask? This aircraft was stuck in the air, and even after the car passed the overpass to the other side, the plane was still stuck there. When experts inspected the footage, they said the footage was legit. Some people reported seeing the same thing. Unless you're telling me that there is traffic in the sky or planes get stuck in mid-air when out of fuel, this is a Matrix glitch. What do you think? In the night sky, someone came across a celestial show that couldn't be easily explained. At first, the shiny dots in the sky seemed like regular stars. However, they started moving together in a way that didn't match the usual patterns of planes. These mysterious lights got people guessing, making the observer think that what they were seeing might not be something from Earth, but possibly an unidentified flying object. The unique arrangement and synchronized movement of the lights made this flying mystery quite different from ordinary things in the sky. Are we witnessing extraterrestrial visitors, or is there some secret human tech that we don't know of? While on a camping trip at the Meeks Cabin Reservoir campground, some folks stumbled upon what appeared to be Bigfoot tracks. These tracks were quite clear and seemed fresh, showing distinct toes and all. Interestingly, this area has been known for various Bigfoot sightings. The person who shared the image mentioned that his sister had a run-in with a Bigfoot while camping in the same area. She was a bit shaken by the experience and chose not to share the details with anyone. What are your thoughts on these Bigfoot tracks? If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. In a chilling revelation captured on footage from years ago, an elderly woman's farmland became the eerie backdrop for a mysterious encounter. Suspecting that someone or something was clandestinely lurking around her property, the woman decided to record the unsettling spectacle. The video, dating back to the 90s and shrouded in the limitations of the era's technology, reveals a humanoid figure slinking surreptitiously through the landscape. According to the woman, the creature bore a reptilian visage, adding an extra layer of intrigue and fear to the already unsettling scenario. The blurry footage leaves much to the imagination, inviting speculation and raising questions about the nature of the enigmatic being that ventured onto the old woman's farmland. I want to believe this is very true, but this is from the 90s, right? How many individuals had cameras back then? Perhaps I'm just being a killjoy and a skeptic. Never mind me. In a creepy incident caught on a home security camera, homeowners discovered an eerie and mysterious presence. The footage showed a strange pale creature on the ground, contorting itself in a way that resembled a human but bent backwards unnaturally, moving on both hands and legs. The spooky scene left the homeowners and surely anyone who saw the video feeling uneasy. The mysterious creature and its strange movements raised questions about where it came from and what it was up to, adding an unsettling air of mystery to the incident. The feeling of not knowing hangs over the footage, making viewers try to make sense of the strange encounter caught by the watchful home security system. In a spine-chilling video, a mysterious and formidable creature was captured at Ranco Lake. The lake, not previously known for having reptiles, became the surprising backdrop for a creature that has sparked speculations reminiscent of dinosaurs. The footage shows a creature submerged in the water, its form and movements reminding viewers of the prehistoric giants that once walked the earth. The person who recorded the video believes the creature looks a lot like a dinosaur. This unexpected encounter raises interesting questions about the existence of creatures that were long thought to be extinct. The eerie footage adds an element of mystery to Ranco Lake, inviting speculation and curiosity about what secrets might be hidden beneath its waters. In the dead of night, the unsettling cries of goats pierced the silence, alerting their caretakers to a bizarre and distressing sight. Upon arrival, the men were met with an eerie scene. An unidentified dark creature entwined around one of the goats. Wrestling with the mysterious being proved to be a challenging task, requiring considerable effort to detach it from the distressed animal. The cryptic nature of the creature raises a multitude of questions. What kind of entity could exhibit such behavior? It neither conformed to the typical characteristics of a snake nor any familiar nocturnal creature. Is it a creature of folklore, a shapeshifter, or perhaps a creature from the depths of the unknown? Hold on to your seat for this one. There's this downright bizarre footage making the rounds. A person with not 2, not 4, but a whopping 6 arms. Wrap your head around this. The 3 pairs are all different sizes, with the top set resembling baby arms, followed by a larger pair and topped off with the biggest set. This multi-armed marvel is crawling up some stairs. Reminds me of the time Spider-Man grew extra arms. Good times. Now back to the footage. Before your mind goes into a tailspin, here's the big question. Is it CGI? While I feel this should be a no-brainer, Aaron here is making a case for how this could indeed be real. So folks, I need you to add your voice to this one as well. Is this real, or is Aaron tripping? Share your thoughts, please. We'll be reading the comments. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for watching to the end. You're a special kind of person. Before you go, are there popular trail cams that you've come across that you think we should feature on this channel? Please tell us in the comments section. And if you personally have odd footage you recorded yourself, you can forward it to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do the needful analysis and include it in our next episode. We'll also credit you with it unless, of course, you want to remain anonymous. We can't wait to receive your clips. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. See you in the next one.